I want to talk briefly. There is a person I like to listen to because I'm not, okay, she calls herself a Hebrew Israelite. I'm not into those type of beliefs, but people don't have to believe the same thing for me to hear what they have to say, because in this person's videos, they do speak on things that actually happen. Okay, when she is saying that she hearing something from the so-called, from the Most High, whatever she's hearing from the Most High, for the most part, it does happen. Honestly, even she talked about Billy Carson and how he, and this stuff about going to Mars. I want to tell you, I said before that it's been a few weeks now, but I remember saying, has consciousness been transferred to Mars? That was, I think, a few weeks ago when I uploaded that video. Now, she did this video about in 2022, I think. And just a few weeks ago, I started having dreams about Mars. And the first one was, I was in a room full of women, full of brown women. We were all standing. Neither one of us was sitting in a chair. And it was like we were writing on these boards or whatever, but we were all standing up. There was like one major chalkboard, and we were all standing up with other little boards in front of us. But it's like boards that you use with the little, the whiteboard with the marker, not the chalkboard. But we were all brown women in this classroom. And there was one other lady who was the teacher. Didn't look much older than me. She looked like she about the same age. Or maybe she just looked young. And one of the students said, one day you're going to get your flowers. You've been doing this 30-something years, and you're going to get your flowers and stuff. And she said, the teacher said, with a smile on her face, well, let's see if they believe that in Mars. Now, Mars is very masculine. For her to say, let's see if they believe that in Mars, the woman ain't going to be recognized for nothing. The woman had to fight to get recognized for anything on so-called Earth. She ain't going to get nothing. She's going to be completely non-existent in Mars. Okay? Then I had another dream where I was in Mars. Everybody was over there. Everybody I knew, my whole family, everybody. And it was like they knew they were in Mars. See, right now, I said this to somebody else, and it's like their spirit is getting, when I said that they already knew they were in Mars and they were okay with it, it's like because they are getting used to the fact that they are consciously over there. So it's like they have to get used to it. And once they get used to it and subconsciously accept it, then they're going to be completely grounded over there in Mars. Okay? People don't understand that people's consciousness can be transferred. Consciousness is not about an individual person. That's why I said we're not individuals. Consciousness is connected. It's all one. It's just not one individual person. So consciousness can be transferred over somewhere, and you very well could be transferred to Mars too, because consciousness is not about an individual person. We think we're individuals. We're not individuals. That's been the lie the whole time. We're not individuals. We are consciousness. We are part of consciousness. And if somebody else is who in control decide to carry consciousness in a different direction and the person is not aware, then, especially if you have a consciousness that is in alignment with where everybody else is going, and if people keep agreeing to the stuff they're saying, like I say in this particular realm, if everybody keep agreeing to the things that they're saying, and saying, okay, well, that's how it is. That's how it is. What do we do? That's how it is. Okay, well, you're going to be going wherever they decide to take you, because you're not an individual like you believe you are. Anyway, I said to say that I had another dream that said, we're in Mars. I knew I was in Mars and stuff, and I talked to family members and all that stuff. And then I ended up going back to, Earth. Earth is not my original home, but I still ended up going back to Earth, because I knew I wasn't going to be there permanently. And I heard a brown woman say, an older brown woman say, yeah, the earth is dying. The earth is dying. When she says the earth is dying, she says, here's what she's saying. The feminine is dying. When she say the earth is dying, she don't know she said the feminine is dying. The older brown woman said that to me. She told me that the black woman is dead. She told me that the black woman is dead without knowing that she said it. Okay, getting to this woman though. I say that to say I brought all that up because even though I don't believe the way she does as far as her religion, she says some things that, a lot of times they come to pass. And I like to listen to her. Whatever prophecy she says she's getting, I like to listen to it because sometimes it's what I see, even though we don't have the same belief. But when the Spirit tell you something, you don't have to believe the same. Everybody don't have to believe the same thing. That's not the way the Spirit is going to come. Whoever can receive it is going to receive it. Don't matter what the hell you believe in. This is the issue I'm having with this particular lady. She keeps talking about reptilians. Every chance she gets, she talks about reptilians as if she know everything about a reptilian. She just called King Charles the King Reptile. I don't know if Jesus or whoever they want to call the Black Jesus, or whoever she want to call God. I don't know what they taught her. But she called King Charles the King Reptile. That might be an insult to the real reptilians. Because I'm going to tell you something. I'm not saying that they're not reptilians. But when I think about that royal family, they remind me of vampires more than they are reptilians. Not to say that some reptilians don't take folks' energy, though. Not to say that don't happen, but sometimes that family kind of remind me more of vampires. But here's the thing. Even if they are a reptilian, even if that family's reptilians, she put a judgment on a whole species. That's like judging all human beings, which people are not human beings. People are not human because people have been separated from their human, who they really are as a human. They don't know that part. Go back to the movie Us, and if you really get it, it explains that people that's in this kind of realm, they're not really human. They're dead until they find out who they are. Get back to the real person. The movie Us tells it all. But anyway, I said this before, and I played a clip by Bobby Hemmett saying, who are the reptilians? It seems like brown people, not brown people because black men don't seem to say this as much, but a lot of brown women feel like the reptiles are the white people. I think they believe that the reptiles are the white people. But you're going to have, true enough, you're going to have some reptilians that are very nefarious, and the reason I believe that is because I've seen it for myself. But to judge a whole species, and the problem I have with her when she does that is because she's religious. I have a problem when she does that because you have other people who are ignorant that does that too. Well, the problem I have for her is she's religious. So she condemns the reptilian species because of her religion. And that's why I don't really care for Christians. I know she don't call herself a Christian. She calls herself a Hebrew Israelite. I don't care for religion, period, in that manner. Because you condemn something that you don't understand, and you feel like you have a right to condemn a whole species. I feel like being a Christian will get you further in what you call hell than anything else. Being a Christian will take you farther in hell than being a doggone prostitute. Being a Christian will land you further in hell than being a murderer. Being a Christian will land you further in hell than being Bill Gates. She'll probably call him a reptilian too. She calls anybody who's nefarious in the world a reptilian. She don't know nothing about reptilians. I'm getting annoyed because I know who the reptilians are, and some are very terrible. You have some that rule the fourth dimension, which people call the fourth dimension, but you have some that are the divine feminine. Because I ain't holding that back no longer. Some reptilians are the divine feminine. They're the divine. See, what she hates, when she condemns reptiles like that, she gonna condemn that divine feminine. She don't know that there's a major, the blood that's running through them veins could have come from a reptilian that was feminine. But because a lot of us are so used to what looks like a human being, don't understand that the human is a very low level of the subconscious. When you get much higher up in that frequency, you don't even look like a human being no more. The original females, what you call females, they didn't look like no doggone humans. They look like other beings. I've seen myself in a higher dimension, looking at myself in this one. And I don't look like no human being. But I was feminine. The original divine feminine from eons ago don't look like no human beings. A lot of them look like reptiles. That's why I be getting angry when I hear black women say this stuff. They hate themselves. I'm not saying all brown women, black women are reptilian. I know, I don't have nothing against David Icke. I like a lot of things he say, but I know David Icke started that. I don't know if this person, what's his name? Alex whoever. You know who, the Alex. The white guy. Alex Jones. I don't know if he talk about reptilians. They hear all these white people talk about reptilians, and they jump on the bandwagon, denouncing themselves, because they think a human being is the end all and be all. Now, King Charles and all them, they might be some reptilians. Could be. I don't know what the hell they are. I do know that Dracula has been ruling too. I do know Dracula has been ruling. I'm not talking no crazy, no mess about Dracula either. But you know, you have a certain realm where the vampires rule too. I've seen them. I've seen the vampires. So, like when I was staying for a brief time, it was in what's it called? Desert Hot Springs, California, not far from Palm Springs, California. I was staying over there. I was doing a travel assignment in Palm Springs, and I was staying in Desert Hot Springs because it was just cheaper to stay in Desert Hot Springs, and I didn't know the area. So I stayed there for 3 months, and I was staying in this particular place. I don't know what happened in this place. I don't know if it was what was going on with it, some interesting energies up in there. All I know is I was getting to sleep and I was in a dream. And all I know is in my dream, I was underground somewhere. I was in some kind of Catholic church. And, okay, I saw the priest was standing in front of me, and I saw another woman standing beside him. But I saw a redhead was supposed to be standing up behind me. But that same redhead that was supposed to be standing up, a redhead woman, that same redhead woman that was supposed to be standing behind me, I saw her ass up on the ceiling like the lady on, not the Exorcist movie. What's that movie when this old lady was crawling around on the ceiling? Old lady. It was a movie that came out probably in the 90s, maybe early 2000s. Early 2000s, not past 2005 though. And it was a movie where this old lady was it was supposed to be, they were supposed to be in some kind of crazy house. And this old lady was crawling up on the ceilings. That's how I saw this redhead lady. She like my third eye saw her up on that ceiling. Because when you're blind, it look like they standing in front of you. When you're blind, it look like they standing beside you and behind you. My third eye saw her up on that doggone ceiling looking down at me. This was in a Catholic church. And so the priest take me to go run, and I was running away from it because I saw that lady up on the ceiling. I saw her. So the priest took me to run, okay? And then we went to this room, and then when we thought he was safe, he started getting touchy-feely on me and stuff. I don't know if he was ready to do some old freaky stuff. I think he was ready to suck some energy. And then I woke up. That is the feeling I get of the royal family. That is the feeling I get from them, that they suck your energy in that way. I don't know what reptilians do in other dimensions and the fourth and all this stuff, but I know in the higher dimensions where a lot of the divine feminine were reptilian, they ain't sucking nobody energy. They don't need to suck nobody energy. I do know vampires suck your blood and suck your energy though. But I'm not going to get on vampires. I'm not going to talk about any species. But I think I get heated when this lady talks about reptilians because she very well could be a reptilian herself. But because reptilian has got a very bad rep, She said, I listened to her yesterday, and I struggled through her videos because I know she's going to say some stuff that's true. So I really struggled through her videos. She said that something about prayer. I don't know if she was talking about, I remember. So somebody have a disease, whoever's supposed to be having cancer or whoever dying from cancer or something. Is it Charles or somebody gets sick? And so I guess somebody mentioned something about prayer for him. And she was like, you can't pray for a reptilian. You can't pray for them. You can't pray for a reptilian. What you say? He's a reptilian. You can't pray for him. They only can be what they can be. You can't pray for them. Excuse me, who is the Father, who is the Son, and who is the Holy Ghost? You've been misinformed, and that's the reason why I left Christianity alone. Because that whole Father, God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Ghost is backwards, and that's the reason why I left that religion alone. It's God the Mother, God the Daughter. But it's been transferred to the Father because we're in the lower plane now. We've been put to sleep. Okay, so the godmother is removed, and now we got the God the Father, and that's what this young lady is under. God the Father. She's under patriarchy and saying dumb things like you can't pray for a reptilian. Well, the nefarious reptilians that's ruling, they're more masculine than feminine. But those nefarious reptilians, and it's more than just reptilians. You know, you listen to people like Fleur Brown, she'll talk about insectilians, and she talk about all kinds of them. But for some reason, a lot of people seem to be against reptilians. I'm tired of brown women especially being against reptilians. You can be against the nefarious ones that want to make sure you don't rise in consciousness. That's fine with me because I see them. I see them all the time. But just to be against the whole species of reptilians is going to be ignorant when you don't know who you are in the higher realm, because you exist everywhere, and there's versions of you that do not look like a human being. There's versions of you in much higher realms that was not human, because a human is a much lower level of consciousness. So there's levels of you in other higher realms where you don't look like no human being. And you just want to denounce and just condemn reptilians. You condemn yourself, and you will never get back to who you were. And to say you can't pray for reptilians, well, it's just kind of my understanding that there was a particular reptilian who was slain. This is just a little story. Might not be true. And they used her blood to create the human race. They used her blood to create the human race. Now you say you can't pray for a reptilian. That reptilian need to call her blood back. She needs to call her blood back. It's time to get enlightened. I get it. But I hear people say ignorant things like that. That's fine with me, but I really hate it coming from a religious person, especially a brown woman. I can hear from a brown man. I don't care. I just kind of over them because I know what they've been up to. In other realms, I know what they've been up to. Whatever. But I hate hearing it from a brown woman to talk like that. It just annoys me. And then they're religious. So now you condemning a species without knowing nothing about it, and she really condemned herself and probably don't even know that she did. And that's hard to listen to. Anyway, I just felt like talking about that. That'll be it, and I'll talk later.